Hello and welcome to unMadeGaming, guys. It is Wednesday and we are here yet again for Blades in the Dark 6 and 20, the Shroud.
Oh, damn it.
And if we could, we'll jump right over to introductions. Johnny, who are you? What are you doing here? And what are you shouting about?
We were taking bets as to whether you would actually start the stream muted, so we lost.
Yeah,
you know how often,
I'll give him $1.
You know how often I start the stream muted?
I don't know how often because I don't watch your streams.
That's fair. Most people don't. And if you're here, I'm not sure why you didn't have anything better to do. But anyway, who are you? What are you doing here? And what are we doing tonight?
My name is Johnny. I run the VideoStoreCowboy channel. I also happen to be the GM for 6 and 20. And wow, the glare from the other side is really bad. And yeah, shut up.
It's so pretty outside. I can't like it.
Would you like me to show you how pretty it is outside? Here, let me show you how pretty it is.
It's so comfortably warm outside.
I like this angle a lot better.
I wish.
Here, how about this? Should we try this?
Better.
Yeah, I just waved to myself.
Oh, that is bloody awful.
You know what? I'm going to do exactly what I saw another streamer do, which is I'm going to have a camera set up so you can look outside so I can just switch cameras.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful outside and I can go fuck you guys.
No, don't switch cameras. It's the wrong idea. You get someone looking in on your desk and, you have all sorts of questions going on.
And you never want someone looking at your disc.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm done. I'm passing on the baton.
Fantastic. Speaking of looking at your disc, Slade, who are you? What are you doing here? And what's on your disc?
What isn't?
Hey.
So yeah, I'm Slade for Crit Gaming, and yeah, I was away last week, unfortunately, but I am back to play Reymond Bowerstone, and yeah, it's time for me to get swifty.
You pronounced power bottom wrong.
Fantastic.
I think you announced Bower Bottom wrong.
Why do you always set me up with a power bottom before I go to you?
Violette, next on the...
Yeah, Xmas Ninja Ninja, the best at segues. Xmas Ninja Ninja, who are you? What are you doing here? And why should anyone care?
Nobody should. Guys, I'm Xmas Ninja Ninja. I run a first-person shooter horror game channel, and I'm here to see how else we can make friends with the other crew.
Sweet. And last but definitely not least, Lisa, who are you? What are you doing here? And why should anybody care?
Terrorize your channel. I am Lisa Lee, and I am Lisa Bell on Twitter, and I am Danger Lily on Twitch, and I'm here playing Violette Vale in Blades in the Dark, and I am a nerd.
Fantastic. That's true. You are all of the things you said, at least. So guys, let me remind you, first of all, Amithara, Shuffles More, NP Joy, thank you for those follows while we were not live. Rydom, thank you for that 10-month subscription. I'm sure there was a note attached to it, but for some reason I didn't see it. So you can DM me whatever that said, whatever sassy remark you had. Guys, if you look down the bottom, left, right, and center, you will see that we have our micro goals. As soon as we hit the followers, retweets, or subscribers, everyone on screen gets this world's version of Advantage, which is pretty rad. You can also donate. This game has a special donation box, or a special donation list. By typing !Blades in chat there, you can see exactly what those donations are for this game specifically. Yeah, all donations go to helping improve the channel. This time it's going to get my ass to TwitchCon. And without further shilling, Johnny, what the hell are we doing?
I don't know.
Okay,
no,
great.
Okay.
Good start.
So, where we last left off, Violet had just come into what was a dungeon-like setting, where you currently have the occupant of the score, or the kidnapping of the target of the score that you previously executed, currently tied up into what we called, what was it, a Judas cross? Is that what we called it? I think it was a Judas cross.
Miss Ginger Ninja came up with the right name. What was it called?
St. Andrew's Cross.
St. Andrew's Cross is what it was called.
A St. Andrew's Cross, which apparently is that whole big X thing that you kind of, you have somebody tied up to, right?
Manacles.
And,
apparently.
In preparing for allowing Violet to come in and have a conversation with this individual, Nyx did a little bit of the beating.
Softening.
Right? softening. He was pretty aggressive about it, though.
Yeah.
And then just to kind of delve into some of the previous elements from the last session, it was basically a downtime game. So a couple of things that you guys did, which I found quite interesting, was you tried to broker a deal with the Hive, and you've started a conversation there. You've tried to broker a deal with the Lampax and started a conversation there. You kidnapped an inspector, a city inspector that represents law and order in this lovely little town. I'm not sure what.
Represented.
I'm sorry, what?
Represented.
Represented.
Yeah.
And then you also indulged a little vice, at least, and that was in the case of Violet, and also did a little bit of murder. Benevolent murder. But you took mercy on somebody, but you murdered him. Let's be honest. Anyways, so where we left off was Violet was having a conversation with the individual tied to the St. Andrew's Cross. And what we came to find out, just as she was preparing to deliver her, how do you want to put it? Your spiel, your victory message, your dance in front of him to let him know that you're in charge and in power, you realize that there was something a little off about this situation. Violet, what was a little off about this situation?
Well, I got a little close to him, and I wanted him to tell me all about what he was doing out there and why he's studying demons and all those things. And I realized in my still kind of half-buzzed state from being down in the grotto that I got a little close and it was a little bit too much fun, and he looked up at me with completely black demon eyes. So he's either hosting someone inside him or he is a demon in human form. I don't know.
So
but things have gone awry.
Well, right. So you were kind of dancing, kind of tickling him and kind of, walking along behind him and kind of enticing him and giving him that whole pleasure and pain thing. And you came around and you saw him raise his head and you saw these demon eyes, and he said, I believe he said to you, and correct me if I'm wrong, he said, I like to play, or I'm interested in playing, or something like that.
I don't remember. I don't think he said anything. I think he looked up at me. The last thing I wrote was demon eyes, exclamation point, uh-oh.
So how does Violet react when she sees these beautiful shark eyes looking back at her?
I'm gonna jump back.
Okay.
Out of reach a little bit. I know he's manacled, but I'm gonna take a couple steps back and oh. I see. Who's in there with you? Hello. I see you.
He smiles at you, his eyes growing wider as you can see that they are completely black. And as he smiles at you, the smile goes from just a beautiful, full of teeth face to a grin that's almost sinister. Nobody's in here with me. I'm in here with him.
Well, that's very hospitable of you. So tell me his name.
Pulls back, looks at you and says,
my good man.
Pulls back, looks at you and says, now, the game is not my name. The game is how much trouble we can get into.
Mayhap. I am a lady, no matter how much fun we may have. I'm going to use a little bit of compel a little. What is it? Command.
Well, compel, command, whatever you want to try to do. Sure.
Compel and let that ride a little bit on my voice a little bit and say, introductions are in order. Who am I keeping company with?
And
I'm very grateful that I'm wearing my corset, my bodice that's got the embroidery and the beading all over it.
Go ahead and explain what that does for everybody's awareness.
In my body, the bodice I'm wearing is embroidered. It's like a falling stars and flowers, and it's black on black, and it's little tiny jet beads of demon bane charm woven into the fabric.
Okay, so with that compel, why don't you let's go ahead and do this roll. And the situation is definitely not controlled because you are this is an unexpected situation, but it's not desperate. You're not in a life or death circumstance right now, unless anybody else has any insight into why it should be one way or another. I'm going to take that as a no.
Okay. I don't think so.
Okay, so effect. The effect is going to be great. But
I'm
I'm
sorry,
not going to.
was it risky or desperate?
You're risky.
Okay.
So it's a risky set of circumstances.
Yeah.
But the effect is going to be great because of an unknown reason to you. And that there's no, I'm not going to broker any argument on this one. This one is actually pretty significant. So,
okay. I'd like to push myself and get 1 bonus die.
Okay. I would also recommend that you take a devil's bargain if you're going to do this.
Okay. In for a penny.
Well.
Is that 2 bonus dice total?
So yes, that's 2 bonus dice, but you have to agree to the devil's bargain first. Anybody else want to suggest something before I lay something pretty heavy on the table?
Nope.
I mean, she could. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say you could start praying.
Well,
that's not what a devil's bargain is.
That's not what a devil's bargain is.
I didn't say who to pray to.
It's not what a devil's bargain is. This is a consequence. Praying is not a consequence. It's a reaction to fear. So this is going to be a consequence of some kind.
Okay, I accept the devil's bargain. Oh gosh.
No. Hold on. No. You haven't agreed to the devil's bargain yet because I haven't laid it onto the table.
Oh,
I'm giving the rest of the table an opportunity to insert themselves and drop something here, unless everybody wants me to just go with this particular with what I have in mind, and then I'll just tell you that, and then you can either agree or disagree.
Okay.
And that will determine whether you take the additional die or not.
Okay.
Anybody else have any other ideas for the devil's bargain?
No. OC and I are in the little peepholes just watching.
Oh, I'm sure you are, because this is going to be enjoyable. So the devil's bargain is that no matter how successful you are in this particular situation, positive or negative, you get exactly what you want, you get something of what you want, or it completely fails, you will be indebted to whatever this is that's possessing this creature, that's possessing this person.
What do you guys think? That's heavy.
It's fitting for that room.
What? What'd you say? I didn't hear it.
She said it's fitting for that room. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh so loud.
No,
I muted myself.
Funny and it is fitting.
I think like indebted permanent, like indentured servitude, or like she has to do
like
a favor.
One favor.
There will be a debt owed to this creature of some kind.
One favor.
I'm going to leave it vague right now. I'm not saying that you're going to be completely indebted to this, whatever this is, forever, but it's not going to be as specific as you will owe this creature one thing. You will be indebted to this creature in some way.
Okay. Oh, this is scary. I have an idea about that. So I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
Oh, I say puckering. Oh my god.
Okay.
Yes.
Puckering is a good description right now.
Oh. All right.
Wow.
Oh no.
Oh,
Scheiße.
no.
You only had one in command. Did you have any difference in not convey in sway?
It's just one in sway.
Okay.
All that was in a tune.
Okay.
A tune,
So-
study, and finesse.
So you say that and you add the emphasis to it, trying to sway or trying to command this thing to.
I still have an idea.
To observe proper etiquette in this particular circumstance. Introductions, very proper circumstances, and it looks at you, and it's still grinning, but it looks at you, and it's kind of giggling a little bit, and you hear this little bit of a rumble, and just, I'm older than anything that you are wearing, or anybody in this room, or anybody around. I do not obey humans. But that was a nice attempt. I may need your services later. Now, you will not have my name, but I may answer a question or two for you.
Okay. And now she's kind of shaken, and now like the buzz is worn off. Now it's ice water.
Right.
That's ice water down her back.
And pee.
Right.
Why hide? What is going on with? Does that mean that he has seen into my mind at all? Did he roll my head?
No.
Okay.
Not that you're aware of.
Okay. Why leave the academy? Why this game of kidnapping and leaving the academy where all knowledge is stored? Why? What's afoot? Can you tell me?
I'm sorry. Do you believe you're talking to the shell? And he pulls on his right arm and pulls it out through the bindings. And he holds it up in front of his hands. In front of his face, and he's kind of looking at it for a second, and he puts it back to where it's bound again, and he says, I am not Horatio.
That much is clear. If you're traveling with him, then there must be a reason. If you care to tell me.
I have my reasons. They are not yours. But you threatened him. The young imbecile beat him. I had to come and make sure that you do not damage what is mine.
My intent was not to damage. My intent was to know.
Oh, but you did. You showed ill intent.
Well, ill play.
You're lucky I am granting you this opportunity. But I'm going to leave you with a warning. Be nice to Horatio, or I will come back. Now, you may ask me one more question before I go.
What is the warning in the Codex Umbra?
You'll find out. And he leans back, and his head just kind of droops a little bit. And as if there is a weight lifted, even though Valen is kind of on this cross, but there's like a weight lifted from him, and his body begins to move again, and he starts to wake up, and he's shaking around, he's kind of looking, how did I get, what's going on? And he's starting to really become coherent. He's trying to take in the situation.
Professor Valen, I've met your guest.
Guest? What are you talking about?
Do you not know?
I am the only one here. You and I. Well, and those eyes that are peering through the peephole there.
You
Yes.
broke my cross.
Your cross never broke. It never split. His hand came out of the bindings.
Oh, like he
and
just
then went
got
back.
free and then was like, "Zoop."
Exactly.
Okay.
It seems your studies have got the better of you, sir. Do you not know? You have a traveler within you. Do you not know?
You get a little tick at the back of your mind saying, shh. And he's, and he starts to panic again as he says, Traveler, I carry nothing on me but I was taken, I was beaten. Where are my things? Where are the sashes? Why am I bound like this?
Well, friends of mine had need of your services. We thought we were rescuing you. Funny that. We now know a bit more about your situation, but not all. So, I have so many questions for you. Sorry about the roughing up. Was not my intent. Let's get you healed, I think. Can I get you anything? Are you hungry? A meal? Are you I can't hear you. I can't hear you. You're muted.
Is that another dollar?
Doesn't
Think
count.
about-
It's not my stream, Jack.
It was so dramatic that he didn't have a response.
Sacagawea.
He says he looks at you as you say you make suggestions of bringing him things, and he looks at you and he's like, "Can I come off of this cross, please?"
Indeed. Yes. It won't matter. Yes, that was clear. All right, and I'm going to undo him.
What's clear about becoming? What's not obvious about this? Take me down from here.
I think we have to sit with a little wine and talk, you and I. I think a conversation is in order. I think we'll both learn from each other. I think. Medic, physic, an apotheker maybe, and some food. Can we get him something?
Fine. They were booing the whole time he was asking to come off. But they'll leave and go find some rags and alcohol.
You saw what you saw. It's useless to keep him there.
Well, so wait a minute. You're making all of these requests, but you're still leaving him up on the cross?
No, I'm taking him down.
Oh, okay.
Because it won't matter. Now I've seen that no matter what we put him in, his traveler will take him out of anything, so it doesn't matter.
So you untie him and you bring him off of this cross, and he stands up straight, and he's really beginning to kind of touch the places where he was bonded to, But you notice something interesting as he's rubbing his right hand or his right wrist where he was bonded. There appears to be a little mark of some kind, something that you don't quite recognize as being any type of normal script, but is more than just like a tattoo or something. It's almost like a brand or a mark of some kind that's been burned into his skin.
Okay, I'm going to go to a little sideboard and pour us both some wine. Important questions. What have you been studying on?
Give me one good reason why I should answer any of your questions. You kidnapped me. You brought me here to this, and he looks around and he just points and he's aghast. This house of, is this pleasure? Is this looks like no brothel I've been to.
Right there. You're right on that count. I know it seems like we're here to harm you, but knowing what I know now, that is the farthest from the truth, and it may help save you. Trust me when I say this.
I was safe enough where I was. I was hidden. I was protected. I was paying good coin for that.
Hidden from who? From who?
Again, give me one reason why I should trust you. You kidnapped me and brought me here.
I'm going to attune just a little bit so that my eyes glow and my hair floats just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Okay. With what intent?
Just to show him what I am. Just to show him. To be like, you have information I may need. I have information you may desperately need, sir. Though you do not know it. Please, trust me when I say an exchange of information right now
Of how
may prevent bad, dire things.
Then you will explain yourself and what you mean by bad, dire things.
How shall I say this? As you can see, I deal in otherworldly pursuits. You deal in the darker side, it seems. You have things to teach me, but there are things you don't know. So...
Then I think you better go on and tell me, thus explaining why it was so important to remove me from where I felt safe. Because clearly, I did not pay to be kidnapped. I did not pay, and now I will have to find new safe passage and new security.
Oh, believe me, sir, you are extremely secure here. There is double safety, safer than the Red Sashes, I can assure you, especially with their recent stir of the pot. We'll get to that later. But believe me, sir, you are safer here.
Yeah, he's not buying it. He is just, the more you say and the more you try to convince him that there's some value of it, he's just not buying it. And he's getting more and more frustrated.
There's another way. So, you study demonology, eh? You, for some reason, wanted to be taken away from the university, pretend like you've been kidnapped, and stashed with the Red Sashes. We're stirring up trouble all over that section of town. But we don't know why. They don't deal in the occult. I do. They can't keep you safe. They don't even know about the ghost locks and the things hidden in their very basement. I don't know. You're safer here.
And he shakes his head and he's like, if you deal in the occult, then you know the circumstances with which my brethren are being stolen. They're being taken.
We don't know why. I'm trying to find
I
out.
don't know why either. I was protecting myself.
Oh,
When Turin disappeared, I knew that I had to sequester myself. You chose to kidnap me from my safety where I had secured myself in order to figure out why my brethren, the people who live and breathe the study of the demon, are being taken. And yet you choose to take me from my safety and tell me that you can provide more. No, I'm sorry. This is not going to work. And he turns from you and he just starts to look frantically around the room.
Have your wine, sir. Have your wine.
He does not take it from you. He does not. He's incredibly frustrated with you right now.
I understand your frustration, but I have this friend who may help you.
Help me what?
Help you find an answer and still stay safe.
He looks around the room, just completely.
Can I like do a bell pull? Can I like do an occult kind of ping to Skurlock?
No, because that's not how that relationship works. It's definitely. Okay. I mean, he's still in the. He's he doesn't. You don't have something that you can just kind of acknowledge, and
have to make bring him. All right. I do know a man who knows much in your realm of study, who may have more answers for you outside of the university. I will have to go retrieve him for you.
And what do you expect?
Nothing to eat, drink?
What do you expect me to do while you go and fetch this person? How am I supposed to secure myself here? How am I supposed to continue to my research?
Stay safe.
He's just...
What? It's funny.
You're mean.
Yeah.
Well, he can't get out either.
I'll kick your dirty rotten heads in. Let me out. All you need to do is know you're safe. Know that nothing can harm you here. From outside, at least. From outside.
When OC goes to open the door, she's going to come in with the inspector. And the inspector's going to say, I'm assuming he would maybe recognize him. Maybe he's well known.
Who, the inspector? Aldo?
With his badge and whatever, like what he's wearing. Like recognizable as a police officer, a blue coat.
Okay.
And just be like, we have friends in many places. You haven't met all of us yet. You're free to get strapped back up to that cross. Or you could stay here, continue your studies, move around as you will. You're very safe. Obviously, we know what we're doing. We got you out of there thinking that you were in distress. And we were trying to help, so you could be more considerate.
Who extracts somebody from their safety and straps them to a cross and then interrogates them?
You were very hostile when we tried to rescue you. And also, it wasn't me. So maybe chill with the attitude. This is my room as well. Rude.
Then you will allow me to leave and return to the safety with which I had paid for.
That may not be possible anymore.
Why?
That's none of your concern anymore.
Then this
and
conversation
she's going to pull her out
over.
And shut the door again.
Yeah.
There's 3 people or more than one.
So he is clearly pissed at you guys.
Swimmingly.
Yeah. Thanks, Nix.
10 out of 10.
And As you, I assume that you're walking away from
He's
that
gonna
room
give
and
us
leaving him
such
to
a bad
fume.
review on Yelp. Oh my god.
No, I'll stand there. If he wants to talk to me, he can talk to me, but he's going to talk through a door.
No, he said the conversation was over.
Okay.
And he turns away from the door.
Okay.
1 star.
And Violet, in the back of your mind, you hear, careful. What are you guys doing now?
That's the first unhappy customer in there. She's going to walk up the stair and leave.
I am going to hightail it to House Vale, to Skurlock, and tell him what just happened.
Okay, so we're gonna
But
say that you're gonna do that, and we're gonna cut real quick, and we're gonna jump back to Bowerbaum because Monsieur Slade was not here last week, so we're gonna give him an opportunity to quickly do some downtime actions from last week. You've got 2 to start with.
Yeah. So I decided to go on the basis that the last mission that Bowerbaum went on was an absolute horse's ass of an effort that he made.
What
So-
really gave you that idea? I mean, seriously.
Oh.
I mean, come on. What went wrong?
Everything went wrong.
Is that really the Bowerbaum's fault, though? Did Nick
He
have
would
something to
blame
do with
himself.
that?
But
No,
he
it was
would blame
literally all the
himself. He is
Bowerbaum's
meant to
fault.
be.
It was
Yeah.
literally all the Bowerbaum's fault.
All his
Come on,
bombs didn't go off. He legitimately fell flat on his ass when he tried to sneak up on someone.
For
All
all the
his
sass he
training,
gave Nyx had to save him so many times in one night.
Okay.
So badly.
Yeah. After that, and his chum and whatnot, and saying goodbye to everyone for that night, he would have retreated to his secret project, and really
Which
reflected.
one?
Yeah,
There are 2 that you're
the big
currently in.
one. The big
Okay.
one.
Sorry, I
It's
just wanted to
big.
make sure.
So
Anyways,
he's gonna
go on.
there. Yeah, he's going to go there. And he's going to be really frustrated with himself, thinking over and over, what the hell did you do? How did you muck up so much? And these are the thoughts that are going on with him for the amount of period as he's doing his secret project, really reflecting upon himself. So his demeanor and personality of happy and charming while he's locked away doing his thing has definitely changed to more of, secluded and dark.
Okay. So, with that in mind, then, I assume that you're going to work on that particular project for the first of your 2 downtime actions?
Yep.
Okay.
Potentially both.
Potentially both. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what action is related to that particular activity so that we can do a roll for it to see how far it progresses?
Okay, so if we look at it,
Is it going to be like a tinker, or is there something?
I think it's tinker because essentially it's building.
Okay, sure.
It's legit, yeah. So we'll go for that.
All right.
Position.
Position. So remember, that's a long-term project. So position and effect don't really have anything. You're
Okay.
just going to roll to see how many segments actually get advanced on this. Ooh, wow. Okay, so
Nice.
this is the secret OC project that we're talking about.
Mhm.
Oh, look at that. Jesus.
Nice.
Christ. Jesus. Okay, so
Attention.
no, I did not want that on the GM layer. Go back to that layer. No, go. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I'm having problems here. Undo. Why? All right, there we go. So that is going to be advanced 3 segments because with a 6, you go, full Nelson on that one.
Sweet.
So you, again, because this is a secret project, I'll have you explain at the end of it, or I'll have OC explain at the end of it because it's the secret. That way you guys can explain all the things that you guys went through to do this. So just kind of be prepared with that description. But that was a pretty that was an awesome amount of effort towards that long-term project. So what do you want to do with your second downtime action?
Do I work on... I'm going to work on my other project, the other secret project, yeah. So I'll go for that one. So that's going to be Tinker again, I believe.
That is exactly what it's going to be.
Oh.
Wow. Okay.
Reymond,
Yeah.
why weren't you like that the last time we played?
What the hell is going on? Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I screwed up the. I screwed up something. I'm gonna have to fix it. I don't know what I did. Let me try undoing a bunch of stuff.
I don't know what's with Roll20, but I believe it feels sorry for me.
What the bloody? Okay. Anyways, so with that, that's a 5. That's advancing another 2 on the other secret project that you were working on. And again, when that completes, I'll just have you explain the details of what was going on there as you were doing that. So, Reymond, you come back to finding that there are some really interesting things going on at the Vale, or sorry, at Eden right now, with OC and Nye walking up the stairs, with with Violette coming and dealing with the individual that is downstairs, Professor Valen. Nyx, what are you doing right now?
He's in Eden proper, drinking in one of the pews.
Just drinking.
Yeah, he did his job.
Okay. So while you're just kind of hanging out, you get one of the rooks coming back to you, coming with some bits of information from the streets.
Sure.
You know, nice little delivery of some information.
Those are my favorite bits.
Oh, I know. No, that's not true. You like biddies better, but anyway.
That's true.
So a couple things that they come relating to you, and of course it starts off as introduction, not introductions, but just kind of familial greeting, a little bit of drinking, conversation starts. This happens to be one of your more trusted individuals in your little rook gang.
Sure.
And conversation comes around to a couple of really interesting bits of information. There seems to be a bit of trouble brewing among the lost. It appears that a homeless Tekarosi woman is stirring some trouble for them. Specifically, that there is some concern about a troublesome merchant in your turf in Night Market. So
a troublesome Tekarosi woman?
A troublesome homeless Tekarosi woman.
Okay.
And she appears to be sending the lost to figure out, or to stir them up, that there's somebody taking advantage of the downtrodden on your turf at Night Market. There appears to be a merchant doing that.
Okay. Does he have any more information on that?
That's all the bits that he's got for you right now on that particular piece.
Sure. He wouldn't happen to know what this merchant sells, would he?
No more details, because the lost appear to be moving aggressively in that direction to kind of figure out what's going on. So there's not much more that he has for you right now.
Okay.
As a different bit of information, it appears that the Bluecoats are actively seeking help and looking for information about a break-in that happened at their HQ almost a month ago in 6 Towers.
Okay.
So there's a lot of activity around that, and in fact, it appears that the 6 Tower. Sorry, excuse me a second. The 6 Tower. The 6 Tower Bluecoats recently were seen moving in force in Char Hollow and having a conversation with somebody in Char Hollow, but it's not really clear who they were doing.
From 6 Towers are doing that.
The Bluecoats from 6 Towers. Each district has their own group of, or each squad or division of Bluecoats. But the captain of the Bluecoats in 6 Towers was actually seen in Char Hollow taking a meeting with some individuals, but it's not clear from the Rook's information who that was or what was actually going on. The location, though, of that particular meeting appeared to happen at some place called the Green Dragon.
Okay.
And finally, the final bit of information. He's like, well, you know, this is the most unusual. You know, just going into and really kind of, being really confused about it. Why this is actually happening. And he says, couriers appear to be moving aggressively between the noble family estates. Lots of messages flying back and forth. A lot of coins being exchanged. Very hush-hush, but it appears the couriers are making a lot of coin for this.
Which houses?
Which houses? I hadn't really got that far with that particular piece of information, so I will get back to you on that. Okay. But he tends to indicate, or what he indicates generally to you is that it's aggressive between the houses, or the messaging is incredibly aggressive between the houses, directly involved in Leviathan hunting.
Okay.
Oh shit.
So most importantly, fuck. Resisting his urge to send them out looking for the couriers, he tells this man, I would like you to focus some time on this Taikarosi woman. I need to know the merchant she speaks of. You see, the lost are not friends of ours, as you have seen, possibly firsthand. And them on our turf is not great for me. So I need to find out who is punishing the downtrodden, and I need to introduce him to a few friends of mine. And he cracks his knuckles. So any information you could provide about this merchant in the night market would benefit me greatly.
Okay. So you're more than welcome to send him off to strengthen the information on that particular element. And so he'll go off and go ahead and do that.
Sure.
We're going to cut to Nye and OC. What are you guys doing after that little exchange downstairs?
We're probably drinking up with Nyx.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm unhappy about her new appearance.
So, how does the day-to-day business get managed in OC's brothel?
She visits there every once in a while. It's probably been a while since she's been there. She's kind of waiting to regroup with everyone after what she just saw, and then she's probably going to go check in with one of the people that run it while she's gone. And see what happened with that search. Because she can't send Nye. Right.
So while you're taking a drink with Nyx and you're listening to the exchange between Nyx and the Rook, you get a message, a trusted person, not one of the couriers, and not somebody who works directly for you at your brothel, but you get a message that there was a bit of trouble and that you might want to check in.
Did they say which one?
Which brothel?
If there was a specific, or if it was just because of the search?
There was a bit of a problem with one of the ones in Silk Shore.
Okay.
Like your main one in Silk Shore.
Okay, so she will probably tell Nyx that's where she's going and get a carriage.
Okay.
And leave Nye, go by herself.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and cut to Violet moving back to the estate. Talk to me about what you're going to do at the estate.
Word of our community's acclaim
I'm going to rush in and wish I had some kind of Silkwood demon decontamination chamber, but I don't. And run to Skurlock, find him, tell him, or write it in the parlor as much as I can what just happened to me. I'm gonna ask Skurlock to
So just so you know, Skurlock is not there, and there's actually a note addressed to you from him.
Oh God! No. What does the note say? Oh, God.
The note says something to the effect of, "My dear, I have been called away on business. I am not able to provide you the support that you need right now. However, I will return shortly and attend to you as I need. I would like to mention, though, that you need to spend some time and speak to Mr. Valeris about your relationship in business at the Vale. He expresses concern and has asked me, as your benefactor in that arrangement, to have a conversation with him."
Okay. Oh, right. Okay. All right. Oh,
And under that, you see another note addressed to you.
Oh, God.
From your cousin, Margette,
Forget.
with the final arrangements for the meeting that she wanted to have with you.
Okay.
And that is set for later this evening, quote unquote, at a local establishment inside of Six Towers.
Real quick, Johnny,
Yep.
can I get a timeline here? Because we have today is the meeting with Margette.
Yes.
We have another meeting with the Lamp Blacks.
Yep.
Which is, I'm going to assume it's tomorrow.
Okay, and then the day after that is the meeting with the Hive.
That is correct.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure
we're very social people.
I want to make sure I had the timeline down.
No, you're incredibly ambitious people,
yeah.
and you set up lots of meetings in advance.
Yeah, because Nyx would absolutely be going to at least the
acclaimed
final two
spreads.
and the first one if invited.
I'm going to take the note that has been back from Margette,
Mm-hmm.
put it in my bag. I'm going to flip over the note written to me by Spurlock. I'm going to write, "Help, you are needed," and demon sign. Just write the sign of demon on it. And write the Vale. ASAP. And then I'm going to tell, let's see if whoever is around, Cecil or Mabel or Bertold, and see who's there and tell them, or make sure they know that I've done this and written it, so that if Skurlock comes back, the family will know, and they can talk to him. And then I'm going to hightail it to, do I go to the Vale or do I go?
So you'll have a bit of time between whichever you choose. If you want to do the meeting with Margette, you can do that first, or you can go to the Vale. It's your choice.
Meeting with Margette. I'll go to the meeting place with Margette.
Okay. Do you let anybody else know?
Yes, I'm going to send a note to OC and send a note to the Shroud, to Eden, that in kind of a schoolboy code, I'm going to kind of give it a roundabout little note of shit. I mean, as I left, OC saw that. She saw that happen through the thing. So she knows what happened there. And I filled her in when we left, when she got me out of there.
Correct.
So she knows
you told her
part.
everything
I
that
told
happened.
her.
Okay.
She knows that. So I'm going to send kind of a schoolboy code note to Nyx and OC at Eden and Bauer at Eden, just a little schoolboy code, so it's kind of like roundabout. You know, I'm. What a lovely reception at the Vale. That bottle of wine was demonically delicious. I would need your help with the rest of the menus, if you would be so kind. See you at the Vale.
Very loosely coded if it has the word demonic in it, just saying.
I just, it's, you know. Had a devilish time at the grotto. Can't wait to tell you.
I bet you did.
I saw you try to talk with your mic muted.
$1.
That's not how that works.
Well, I gave him change. So,
Okay. So you are going to let me be clear about this again. You are going to go alone to the Margat meeting and then meet OC at the Vale.
Yes, meet everyone who I can at the Vale.
Okay. All right. So you hail a carriage from the cabbies, and you make the short distance to the agreed upon location in Six Towers. We're going to cut to Reymond. You check in with your normal businesses prior to making your appearance at the Eden, and you find a note listed coming from a Mr. Valeris as well, asking you for a meeting. Just asking you to call and make an appearance with him, and Mr. Valeris as the proprietor, one of the proprietors, as the silent partner necessarily at the Vale.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he requests that you make an appearance, at your pleasure.
I guess it's time to get fancied up in a suit again. We can't all be in our little secret projects.
Oh, okay. All right. So that was a quick drop, and I'm gonna cut over to Nyx. Nyx, what are you doing while all this other craziness is going on now that you've got a little bit of information?
Did he see what happened, by the way, Nyx?
No.
She would have definitely told him once your guy left.
Yeah, Nyx punched him and then left.
Yeah, she would have told him, by the way, before
Okay.
she left.
What did you tell him?
Everything that I saw.
Okay.
First, she's going to be like, first of all, that was awesome. But down to business. And then tell him everything after he left.
So my curiosity is then, Johnny, is how much did OC see? Did she know he was a demon? Because Violet only saw that he
told
was a
me.
demon. Oh, she did actually tell
She
you.
just said
Violet-
she told me.
Okay.
Yeah, Violet said
Also, I
everything.
did hear everything
Okay.
and see the eyes go black. I saw everything.
Well, only Violet saw the eyes go black. That's why I asked. Because she has magical woo-woo powers.
No, his eyes were full on.
No,
every
his
day.
eyes went black.
Black. Like, we could have all seen
I
that.
mistook that then.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. He says, well, that changes things quite a bit. An actual demon, eh? Interesting.
And you didn't know it.
Bargaining chips on bargaining chips. Good. Well then. And he is... man, he's going to gather some information.
All right. What kind of information do you want to gather?
He wants to gather information on this night market guy. This merchant.
You're going to go after the merchant. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So how are you going to go about doing that?
I'm actually going to go out with the rooks and gather information on this guy. This is shaping up to be a score that at least Nyx is aware of and wants to deal with.
Okay. And how are you going to do that? Like, what are you? Typically the last time that we did this, you can either command
Yep.
the rooks to do something, and then that's the action that they'll take.
Right.
Right. So that you roll that, or you can go with them and do it, as a separate action essentially, and then.
Yeah, he would go with them.
Okay, so let's go back to the investigation phase and have a conversation about what that actually means.
Sure.
Give me just 1 second.
Take your time.
Yeah, shut up. Yeah. All right. So, all right. Now that you are running around, doing your thing, how are you going to? What specifically are you going to do to accomplish this? Is it you're going to start having conversation with the Lost themselves?
No.
Are you going to trail them?
He would actively avoid the Lost.
Okay.
But he would be talking to homeless people, as well as merchants in the night market.
He would be talking actively to homeless people and night merchants. Okay. So I'm going to say that this is a survey roll to me.
A survey roll. Okay, interesting.
Because if you can think of something else that applies to this type of investigation.
I was gonna say talking to people, maybe sway, but I'll go with survey if you want. Survey to me seems more like investigate, like perception kind of thing. Like he's looking for something, like looking.
Well, sure, but if you can make a pretty good argument as to why it would be sway, I'm happy to hear that as well.
Yeah, I would assume that the homeless aren't going to talk very easily. A, they're homeless. B, they know the lost have their back, and I'm a stranger.
Right.
C, I might have a bit of a reputation for punching homeless people. Happens.
Whatever.
And the same thing with the merchants in the night market. They were not very receptive the last time I came around asking about the hive, so they may not be receptive either. So a little bit of persuasion and glad handing and greasing palms may have to come into play.
All right, so why don't you go ahead and make me a sway roll?
Okay.
I don't think that this is a desperate situation. I also don't think it's a controlled situation.
Yeah, I would say it's risky. I agree.
Because you might actually make things worse for yourself.
Right.
Under those circumstances, I would also say that the effect is probably going to be either standard or great for you.
Okay.
Because the information, you have so little information to start with that you might pull something out of your ass and you'd be able to really get, like you might get the whole story.
That's true.
Or as much of the whole story as the lost understand, or you might get,
Right, and if there's anything good that Nyx is good at, it's pulling things out of his ass.
I didn't say it.
Downtime.
Lauren,
you didn't have to.
I was supposed to be muted.
Okay.
I try to keep some.
So I'll say standard.
All right.
So then here comes the rest of this. So we're in our turf. So I get +1 bonus die for fact finding in night market.
That's correct.
What the fuck else did I do? I have a +1 dice. Oh shit, that's only consort balls. Okay.
Balls.
And what about the rooks?
With the rooks, you're going to get a +1.
Okay. And then
you're totally going to get a +1.
My stress is fine. I'm going to push myself because I got shit to know here.
Okay.
So 2 stress to push myself, right?
Sure.
Okay, so that's a 3. So that's another +1 dice.
That's correct.
Oh, you know what? Actually, the rooks are now elite rooks, which is an extra +1. Cool. So that's a +4.
How are they elite? You've killed like half of them.
Listen,
flipping the barrel bomb signal.
Don't worry about what I do with my rooks.
I just saw what you do.
Listen, I got the rooks under control. Okay.
Be glad that it's Speedy's birthday and he's not watching. He's going to be really jealous of your dice rolls.
Fuck yeah, 6s. Suck it, everyone else.
We were rooting for you, Dick.
Did you say 6s?
Yeah, I got
that 1 little 6 that you
got
got there.
6. That's a
you
great
got 1
6.
6.
I don't
Not
give a shit.
6s. Not crit. You got 1 6.
I don't give a shit. That's great.
Make him roll all once.
I'm not gonna lie.
I rolled every number there.
6.
I rolled every number there.
Awful.
You start asking around. You start, passing off a little bit of silver here, a little bit of silver there. You're greasing palms and easing through the conversation much better than you did the last time that you did this. And you're starting to make a little bit of a reputation for yourself, counter to what you previously established, because that you are claiming this as your turf, because you are throwing around coin versus just trying to have a conversation, and you start to get little bits and pieces of information. The night market homeless don't know anything about this individual. It's not at all clear who it is the lost are searching for, but the night market homeless do not have any idea what's going on. Like, it's just not clear at all who it is that gave them this information or who that this information was intended to target. Now, the lost are being incredibly vigilant, and they have talked to pretty much every homeless and downtrodden and indentured servant of a merchant in your area of night market, and yet they do not at all have any idea based on all of that. Like I said, they're just the homeless don't know, and the lost are just desperate, and they're trying to find this information, and nobody has any insight into who this merchant is.
Okay.
However, a Tarosi woman has been seen coming in and out of a place called Donovan's. And that has been clearly marked by the homeless.
The Taikarosi or a Taikarosi woman? A
Taikarosi woman has been seen moving in and out of a business, a wholesale goods company called Donovan's.
Shit.
With this 6 here, he would have been talking to the homeless and offering up some good, you help me, I help you. The lost, they don't operate here in the night market. That is myself in the hive. I understand that one of these merchants belongs to the hive, but I have ties with the higher ups there, and I would very much like it if you needed anything. Would you come to me instead? I am local, I could assist you quite well, and my contacts in the hive, once this man is found out, he will be brought to justice swiftly. There's no need to bring in the lost. And essentially he's trying to get more people for the homeless network. Offering them protection. They don't have to lean on the lost, who are several districts away, to send men over here when he could do it himself. And he's offering to find this merchant.
Okay. It's not going to have any tangible effect right now, but the next time you have to roll, add a +1 die.
Sure.
To something that's related to the Rook Network and Night Market.
Cool. Did the merchants turn up anything either?
Merchants did not turn up anything. They had
okay.
They had no clue about this circumstance.
Okay.
They
cool.
Completely no information whatsoever.
Gotcha. Okay. He thanks everyone properly, gives them a few shins, and he returns back to Eden. Oh no, I'm sorry. He returns to the Vale where he was told to meet everybody.
Okay. We're going to cut to OC as she makes her way back to her main brothel establishment. Do you have names for your brothels? Do you want to eventually come up with names for your brothels so that we can?
Silkshore?
Yes, this is the one in Silkshore.
I came up with a name. I can't remember it.
Okay, we'll just go by health codes.
No, what was it?
This is A claiming this one.
Let me see if I put it in notes. But you get the hell out of here. If you're not working for me, get the fuck out. But you have to wear the mask.
just call it the Whiskey Justice.
No, it was really clever.
All right, so I need to fix that. What the hell did I do that? Okay, so while you're figuring out what the name is, you emerge into the parlor area, and of course are immediately greeted by directly and indirectly by everyone that works for you. Those who are not currently occupied with clients of any kind give you the wave, or give you some sort of acknowledgement or call you out. As that happens, every other individual that works for you who is currently engaged, continues to have the conversation, but makes the eye contact acknowledgement that they're aware that you're there and in the room. And this is as much as of discipline in respect to the way you run your establishments as it is a level of respect that your employees or the people who work for you extend to you. And you make your way to the bar inside of the parlor area, and you see quite a flamboyant young male figure, no more than 16 or 17, who, for anybody who was watching the Phantom last week, I also called Aldo, and that was a terrible choice because we had 2 Aldos. So post-show, we since gave him the name of It was, where is it? God, what the hell happened to it? He became known as Clav. So you know this young individual as Clav. This one happens to be one of the more troublesome apprentices that Nye has been working with whenever she has to make an appearance and facilitate training or discipline of any kind under your direction. This has been one of Nye's special cases that she's had to take care of.
Okay, so I'm being called there because he's doing something.
Well, you are being called because one of your managers, quote unquote, the bartender behind the counter, behind the bar, has asked you to show up because he's got some information for you. But you take special notice of Clav because Clav appears to be moving around and has quite a huge disposition change. Previously, he's been meek, very unsure of himself, very unable to accomplish the tasks that are associated with the attraction of a clients for pleasure. Mm-hmm. Subsequently, a huge change has come over this particular person, and he is doing quite well. He's got 2 and 3 clients on the hook as he takes somebody upstairs or into a back room to do his business. And you, in the time that you see that, you can see that there are others that are just kind of like being acknowledged by him and waiting. And as you kind of walk up to the bartender and he places your normal drink in front of you, says, quite a disposition change for Clav, huh?
So just to clarify before, he's one of the people that works for me that I'm training, and he's doing this.
Yes, he's an apprentice.
So he's doing better. Okay.
Yeah, he's doing better.
Okay. It seems he's found his own. Most people that start off in this business do find their own way about it, their own way of going about things. Is that what I was called here for?
Well, funny thing about that, finding his own way. I know he's one of Nye's special cases. That wasn't anything Nye did. We had an interesting visitor a couple nights ago. It would seem Ari has come home.
With that, she's gonna stiffen a little bit. What do you mean home?
She showed up here a couple nights ago. She was asking some very pointed questions about
in the back, please. And then she'll lead her in the back, so it's a private conversation.
Okay. So as the door closes, she turns to you and says, she was asking about Nye.
What about her?
I didn't hear the entire conversation. I just heard her name dropped. She took a special interest in this boy when she found out he was a special case. And when they got done, there was a huge change in disposition. He found his voice. He found himself. He found his ability to be attractive. He found his way to accomplish this business. And I'll be quite honest, if it wasn't for the fact that he's so successful, we would have kicked him. We would have done, he's just been unconsolable, or not unconsolable, he has just been impossible to deal with. He won't shut up about the fact that Nye has always had a harsh hand with him, that always was aggressive with him, and that Ari is a much better teacher. I don't know what she said to him in those 10 minutes, but it was... And she shakes her head and but he's stirring up trouble now. He's completely arrogant. He's taking clients from other staff.
Okay. I'll see him when he's done.
Okay.
And she'll grab a drink and say, thank you.
Right.
For,
And as you're kind of sitting there and you're watching, do you grab him between clients or do you...
Between clients.
Okay. So you get the message to him through somebody else, and he kind of looks around acknowledging each of the clients, doing a very good job about, management, managing his quote unquote queue. And he walks up to you and says, so you wanted to see me?
Yes, you're doing very well for yourself. I know I've been gone. Nai is no longer with us. She has been released from her duties.
Does that mean Ari's replacing her?
No. May I ask what she said to you?
Oh, she gave me some advice.
Hmm.
She talked about being me, being attractive in me, and it's clearly doing well. And he shows off a bauble that's clearly that one of the regular clients has bought him or brought him. It's some sort of bracelet. It's quite beautiful. And he says, "Of course, you can have this. I was holding on to it until I had an opportunity to give it to you personally." And he hands it over to you.
Okay. She's gonna say, "Would you prefer if she taught you instead of me? Is that what you're saying?"
You never taught me. Nai was responsible for me, and now that she's gone, if Ari is available, sure.
Are you aware of what Ari did to leave this establishment? It is pretty well known. She is the example that we made.
No, I have no clue. She didn't tell me anything about that. I just met her a couple nights ago.
She fell for one of the clients. There was a scandal, and you know how I feel about that. She was asked never to come back. So I will be having a word with everyone who works here at this establishment and at the others so that it won't happen again. If you'd like to go work for Ari in one of her houses, that maybe she owns one, maybe you can go work for her.
Oh no, I'm doing quite well here. I think that's great. I just thought that I meant no offense. I was conveying what was a fortuitous meeting.
She's going to be kind about it, but intimidate him. I'm assuming he's sitting on the sofa. She'll lean in uncomfortably close to him, which is not something she does with anyone. When she reprimands, she's stern, but she's, usually fair and will hear them out and things like that. But it's sort of struck a nerve with her.
Okay.
And with, Nai being gone out of her normal body, she's already on edge. And, they're getting into a bunch of trouble and all these other things. So she's already very stressed and she hasn't indulged in a while.
Sure.
So she will lean over, put her arm very tightly on the back of the sofa so that she is close enough to kiss him, and warn him that if he thinks he's going to be running this house, he will not. And that it's odd people going missing in this town. And that she's glad that he's doing well, but that he should remember his place.
I feel like while he is your employee, I think you need to roll something here to see what level of an effect this is going to have.
Cool. And before you do, we've hit 11 out of 10 retweets. So everyone, including the DM, has +1 position.
He spontaneously combusted. No, I'm just
kidding. Boom. Yeah. So there's a couple of things.
I think it's sway.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to get him back on my side. With that, she's gonna let him know that he's welcome to stay here if he understands his place. Because he can be great at what he does, but he'll be doing it on the street.
Right. Totally. Okay, so go ahead and roll that.
Yeah.
And it's definitely going to be controlled because this is your business, this is your home, this is your environment. You're in your element.
It's they're limited effects, I'm assuming.
Because it's one person. It's absolutely limited.
Can I raise it with my thing?
Sure. You want to go to standard?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
then do you want to push yourself or take a devil's bargain?
I had 2 stress. Yeah. She's going to push herself.
Wait, you have 2 stress left.
No, I have 2 stress right now.
Okay. All right. Okay. I was going to say, if you had 2 stress left, if you were taking 2 stress, then you would essentially become incapacitated and have to take trauma.
No. Yeah, no.
Good. Because that's going to be dangerous when it happens for the first of you. Okay. So you're gonna up the 2. So you're gonna take an additional die.
Yeah, I almost want to make the argument that she's in control of the situation and that he pretty much has nowhere else to go if I kick him out.
Okay.
That might be an extra die of like, I'm in complete control and there is no bad effect of this.
Well, that's represented by your position,
Oh, okay.
right? That's represented by the control position. So.
All right. Well, he is not affected.
No, actually, so he is, right? So with a 4, it's a success, but with a complication, right? And so your message gets clearly through to him, and he looks a little taken back when you apply disappearing. You are definitely getting through to him, and he just, as you finish what you're saying, as you're leaning in, he starts leaning back and he starts looking around, and he marks, as you're kind of watching him, he marks everybody in the room and realizes that they're all devoted to you and that he may not have been showing his devotion to you in the way that he needs to be doing. And you get immediately from him an acknowledgement of that he hears you. Like it's not even even no matter what he would say verbally, his body language conveys that he is accepting what you're saying and taking it incredibly serious. His position has changed. It's more subordinate than it was. You've removed the arrogance from him. But as you removed the arrogance from him, you also notice that a little bit of his outgoing disposition has changed. And he says, okay, I've got to make it on to my next client. And when he stacks up and walks away.
Well, he won't.
What?
She's going to push. She's not done.
Okay.
She's going to say, I love that you've come into your own. I wish all the happiness and, I wish everything for the people that work for me.
Okay.
But if you were in my position and someone broke the main rule here, how would you have handled it?
I wouldn't be in that position. Again, you watch the arrogance bleed out of him. The empowerment that he was feeling before is gone.
Okay. She's going to say, I hope to see you do well, but also understand that there are other women who work here and to do what you do better. If you want to strive to be the best here, you can do that, but you won't take clients from them. And with that, she'll point at the bartender to get him a drink to kind of calm him down before he goes back to work.
So the drink arrives. He takes a couple of huge gulps of it almost immediately, but the damage is done. It's clear that his whatever power or empowerment or whatever encouragement that Ari had given him and whatever change in disposition, you're watching it bleed away as he thinks about what you just told him.
She's gonna go up to the bar and just take a shot at the woman who told her,
right?
And say that's a real shame. She could tell. I mean, he,
right.
He's not. Yeah, that's a shame. I had high hopes for him, and then she's going back to the Vale to meet them.
So as you're leaving, you watch him move on to the next client, and his body posture, his confidence is all gone. And as he leads that client back, there's a noticeable disappointment from that client.
Yeah. She will say, give him 2 weeks pay from because she gives them money for, buying supplies and stuff.
Right.
She'll say, give him 2 weeks pay tomorrow. He's done tomorrow. as she leaves, and she'll say, "Oh," and if she ever comes into any establishment and nothing is done about it, it'll be worse, and she'll leave.
Okay. All right. So you make your way to the Vale. We're gonna cut and go to. Let's see. We'll deal with
Bottom.
what?
Bottom.
Well, bottom. You're gonna make your way
just
to
one
the.
game. Just one game. I thought it was going to pass by the halfway mark.
Hey, it's not my fault. It wasn't brought up first. So we're actually gonna deal with Violet's meeting with her cousin first before we get to the Vale. Just because timing wise, that makes a lot more sense. So Margette asks you, Violet, to meet at a location at a nondescript little hole in the wall tavern place in Six Towers. Your carriage arrives, you walk in and you see Margette sitting there, quite the young woman. A shining image of your other cousin, her mother, though not as weather-worn and battle-hardened and with scars. She is still quite young, just 21. And she waves to you immediately and greets you, as you can see that she is flanked by another individual with a little bit more of a docker's or like a seaman's look to him, wearing a petticoat and high boots, what have you. She immediately runs up to you, searching your face, looking to give you a hug, but not really sure if that's okay, given the way that the two of you left it the last time that you hadn't seen each other.
And I just open my arms, like, of course a hug.
She's like, she sighs as you give her the hug, and she says, I don't know why it's been so long. I feel like a child for our last exchange. I thank you for coming.
Do I sense anything arcane amiss?
Do you want to attune and go into the ghost field real quick and see what you can see?
Yeah.
Sure. Situation's definitely going to be controlled unless anybody has any other objections to that, because I could see it being controlled because there's no known immediate danger, but you're also in Six Towers, which is known to have a lot of spiritual activity, especially near the well. So you're not very close to the well, but there's a lot of things. There's still a lot of things going on in Six Towers. So I can see either or. Right? Well, it's your home turf then, so let's call it controlled. What do you want to? Okay, so for effect, I think it's going to be limited.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not trying to really just see. I just want a little.
Right.
Yeah.
What'd you get? Okay, so you attune and you kind of focus in, and you want to describe the level of gradient that you get into the ghost field?
I just want to, on a scale of 1 to 10, I just want like a 2 or a 3, just to kind of like when you're driving and you put your hand over the sun's glaring in, and you just want to stop the sun so you can see the road again for a minute. I just want to kind of cut in on a 2 or 3 level to just see, is she okay? Because I just dealt with demons. So is anyone wearing any weird marks? Does anyone have any kind of weird shadow energy, or is it all just clean ghost, arcane, spirit well energy?
So for the most part, it's normal stuff. Both her and her companion do have a slight twinge of pink to them, but that is common for anyone who spends time on a ship out at sea, either hunting leviathans or just transporting goods or that kind of a thing. Anybody who spends time at sea, the inky water has a residue that conveys the ectoplasm to some degree. So anybody who's on a ship of any kind or spends any time near the docks has that little bit of like residue, that pink residue that just kind of permeates them. But it's not overwhelming, and it's not indicative of spectral or demonic activity. And she, as you're kind of doing this, she steps back and she looks. Are you doing your thing? Are you doing your thing? As she recognizes that you're.
Yes. Just checking. You said you seemed in distress, and I.
It's not me. It's Mother. She's in real trouble.
What's happened?
You know, Mother, she's been responsible for the group that calls themselves the Foghounds, right?
Oh, yes, okay.
Well, desperate times. While she's kept our ship out at sea, she has been... I don't know how to quite tell you this. She has been involved in some...
I pulled her into a booth. I just kind of pulled her into a little alcovey booth so we're not just at the bar overheard.
And she that's right. Okay. All you see basically is a couple of other patrons that are kind of situated around, but nobody is paying attention. Some of them are, already drunk, or they are just, very much into their drink. The Six Towers is not, the best of neighborhoods. So anybody who resides here, or, spends any time here, is already heightened, very aware of how much spiritual activity, spectral activity happens in the area. So she looks at you and she says, I don't agree. I don't agree with what she does, but she puts food on the table. She keeps the ship running, and she takes care of her people.
What?
She's under attack. Somebody is targeting her little group of smugglers. And she's panicking. There was a break-in. There was a break-in at their warehouse, and there was a murder there too. One of her men and some what looked to be a scoundrel.
Okay.
But what? She needs your help. I need your help. I don't know how to help her, but they're targeting her. They're targeting the and she starts to burst into tears. I don't care about the money. I fear for my mother. And family helps family.
Well, of course, dear. I'll help if I can in any way. Well, do you know who might be responsible? Anything?
The Foghound just returned from a little operation that she arranged for us to bring goods into the docks. But by the time I arrived, they had been attacked at the warehouse, and then subsequently a job that she had arranged, and she gets really uncomfortable when she says the word job. A job went south, and by that I mean it never happened at all. And they put a lot of time and money into it, more than they could afford, but it was meant to make them more coin. And she gets really uncomfortable as she says coin.
Well, my dear Margaret, come on, in for a penny, in for a pound. I have to know what I'm dealing with. What job?
I don't know much. I mean, again, I just arrived. But what she told me was they were supposed to take some supplies. Dried goods, food supplies, something. It was... I don't know where it was meant to be sent, but I do know that it was meant to be taken in transit through the docks, and we were to resell it to... I think she said... No. Maybe... I think it was the Crows. Something about... Maybe it was the Crows, I think she said.
So...
But the carts never arrived. They never became of... There was never an opportunity to take them because they never showed up. And subsequently later, we heard that there was a big score taken by the Red Sashes.
I see. So...
I don't know much more than that. I can...
So, dry goods, eh? Dry goods.
Yes.
And
Dry
some.
goods.
I understand. So, this is what I'd like you and your mother to do for me. Spike a package. Make that same run. Mark your things differently. And let's see where they go. Maybe put some raw spark, lace it so that anyone can see. They open that package, it's on them, it's going to stay. Or wipe them out.
We
Get
don't.
some of that raw blood.
We don't have. We can't take that risk, she says, and she looks incredibly flustered. We're one or two jobs from the poorhouse, from being on the streets. We can't risk losing any more.
What can I do? How can I help?
He could have helped.
What?
You have a friend.
I do. I. What should we do? What should I do?
Come on, Ginger. What were you going to say?
We don't know. You went alone.
You guys, you can metagame this a little bit. Come on. You guys know that.
Nix could have helped a little bit with the
Nix has plans.
Nix has plans. All right. So, you know what? This is it's a tawdry little place. Let's go get a drink somewhere lovely. Please come with me. Come to the Vale with me.
I can't. We've got another shipment coming in soon. I'm having to take on this business
I understand.
because we can't spare anyone.
Well, you can't afford not to go. Please come with me. And I'll send you back in my carriage. Come on, right you are. Let's go.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to scoop her up and I'm going to get her in my carriage with her and take her to the Vale with me.
Okay. So you take her into your carriage, sending her companion along the way, assuring him that he is no longer needed and that she will be safe. And we're going to cut to Reymond, because he's not in uniform.
Strike two.
Listen, Bottom, I don't
Hey,
want to hear
Bottom,
your
yeah.
sass.
Yeah.
Apple bottom jeans.
Well shown.
Oh no!
Bottom.
You did not just say apple bottom jeans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mask with
You're
the
right.
fur.
She didn't. She said Bower bottom jeans.
Power bottom jeans.
Ooh. Okay,
I found
so
the theme song.
all right, so we're cutting into Reymond walking into the Vale. Reymond, it's a normal crazy night at the Vale, right? There's all kinds of pleasure and vice. food, drink, drugs, sex, other types of perversion related to sexual behavior. You have been asked to meet here by the group, but you also received a summons. How do you want to proceed?
So we're basically meeting at the same time.
Pretty much. You're coming. You're the first to arrive, right? Because you know that you also have a separate conversation to have at some point.
Yeah. The question is where I go and see this. I'll go and speak to him. If he's there, I'll go and speak with him myself while I wait for the rest of everyone to turn up.
So you kind of come in you come into essentially the parlor / larger room for entertainment that is, either food or drink, and you walk up to the bartender and let him know that you hand off the letter indicating that you should show up at any time, and he says, "Let me get you a drink and let me go see if Mr. Valeris is available. Can you just wait here for just a second? What can I get you?"
And his demeanor has now changed back into boisterous charm.
Right.
The usual.
The usual. And he gives you whatever the usual is, Mr. Reymond, because I was asking you for your drink of choice, but whatever. He gives you your usual. Gross. And so as you're kind of like you're kind of swirling the glass a little bit and taking a drink, in walks Violette with another young woman who has a vague familiarity to you because she looks a lot like Violet, but there's some family resemblance, but you're not quite sure why she looks what's so familiar about her. And she Violet walks up and orders a drink for her cousin. And as the bartender comes back, seeing Reymond, he says, "It'll be just one moment." And then he looks over and he sees Violet and he says, "Oh, he actually wants to speak to you too. I think the both of you should actually go in together."
What do you mean, both? Violet?
Hello, darling. Hello.
Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Cheers, mate. So, Nix, OC, have you seen them?
No, I've been busy. Antiques. They're
Fantastic.
Not getting younger.
Fantastic. And to the bartender, you said, the host?
Mm-hmm. The bartender behind acknowledges you.
You seen Nix or OC?
No, they've not come in yet. Who's this young lady right here? And may I entertain her for you while I take you up to Mr. Valentis or Valeris?
Please do. Please give her an alcove seat by herself, or Margaret, you can stay here if you like. I'll be right back. This is my cousin Margaret. Please.
Pleasure to meet you, Margaret.
Like family.
Always. Yes. So go ahead and go up the stairs. He's in his office off to the right. Both of you are being expected. So.
Tea, hookah. Here's the menu. Whatever you like. Be right back.
Cheers.
And I just note to the bartender, like, keep an eye on her. Please don't let her leave.
Right.
And in we go to see our interesting friend.
So you make your way up the stairs, and it's quite a nondescript, very functional staircase. Takes you up towards the second level, towards the back of the building. Places that most patrons do not see, but Reymond being not only a patron, but sort of how shall I put it?
I own the bloody place.
No, you don't own the bloody place. If you own anything, you own part of the bloody place, right?
This
so you're an
floorboard.
investor. You're an investor in as an investor, you've been back here once or twice to speak to various business people, but you've never actually met Mr. Valeris because he typically operates
this the first time?
through intermediaries.
Right.
Violet, however, has met Mr. Valeris once before when she made a deal with him to work with and be part owner in the Vale as well. So you find your way walking yourself back up to the stairs. You come to a couple of doors, and Violet, you recognize the door that you need to actually enter. You step through that door into what is quite a luxurious drawing room with a desk off to one side. And seated behind that desk, you see quite an aged-looking gentleman who almost appears shiny. His hair is quite well groomed. He's wearing a suit of some kind, as far as you can tell. But his skin has this really interesting shine or gleam to it that takes on the light. And the room light is very dim. And he looks at you as you enter. You don't know that, Violet. You don't know that. You don't know that. So you walk into the room and
stop being over prepared.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know that. Lisa may know that. Violet does not know that.
Okay.
So you walk into the room and he greets you and he says, "Welcome. It's so good to see both of you.
So nice to see.
I'm so happy that you were able to receive my requests for an audience. Now, will you please take seats in front of you? May I get you something to drink?"
I'll better not, mate. I've just had one and I don't want to be absolutely piss-faced in front of you.
Now, and he's not sitting in a chair that you can tell, but he's just kind of sitting there and he's just perfectly still. But he leans back a little bit, and as he does, he kind of bobs a little bit. Looking between the two of you, he says, "My business tonight is that of concern. Violet, dear, when Skurlock recommended you as a business partner, he said that you were one who was trustworthy and able to rely on. But you've not been here for very much lately. You've been working other business. That's not part of our agreement."
Terribly sorry to be indisposed, but it is great to see you, and thank you so much for the drink. As Skurlock knows, there has been arcane business I have had to deal with that's become quite sticky, and it might concern you and the rest of Six Towers, actually, and Night Market. It was a matter I was going to bring you immediately, so this is a fortuitous time to meet.
What kind of business?
Well, it seems, as our gentleman friend here knows, kind of lean on Reymond and give him a wink and say, red sashes, lampblack, crows. It's gotten a bit sticky, so I've been in contact with the hive a bit, trying to. It does also seem that the dark side of the arcane might come to the fore in the next couple of weeks. Wanted to give you a heads up.
None of that involves the business of pleasure.
Has business fallen off? Are numbers not good?
I did not say that.
Oh, well then.
I said that you are not fulfilling your obligation.
Please tell me what I can do. I'll be happy to.
You can continue to do what I ask you to do business-wise here and ignore your extracurricular pursuits. Our contract was 5 years, and you've only been working here for 2.
And I am extremely satisfied with the arrangement, but ignoring arcane business anywhere here in Duskfall, I think damages our reputation. Keeping business clean, as it were.
As that, at that, you see him flush a little bit, and his skin tone goes from the normal human pallor to a little bit more red, all over his hands, his face. And just for a second, he bobs higher up, and you can see that the suit jacket and the shirt ends, and there's a little bit of something that you can see below that, and it's more shiny. And he bobs up for maybe half of a foot and then bobs back down, and you see that there is frustration in his face. He says, I do not have any interest in the arcane other than the pleasure that gets served here. You are not being paid. You are not receiving the benefits of this relationship, of this contract, for your own pursuits.
Well, my pursuit is pleasure, and this is Shangri-La. I thought keeping the area clean would do nothing but make it easier for business traffic. We don't need spirit wells overflowing. We don't need any of your girls getting possessed or getting cursed, or the arcane is all around. I think I am a fantastic asset to this operation, but I will absolutely heed your advice and be more present here at the Vale. You do know how much I love it, don't you?
Thank you. And his color, the pallor of his skin changes back to a more of a what you would assume is a human tone, the human color pitch. He says, he turns to Reymond and he says, I'm sorry that you had to see that.
It's all good.
I thought that you might want to know what I'm offering you.
Sure, why not? I mean, I haven't been busy or anything, and I've been wanting to meet you. I might take that drink, though, if it's still on offer.
He rings a bell, and immediately your drink of choice is brought into you from off the side. a plate or a tray floats in and immediately just kind of sits down in front of you. And you're getting a tinkle in your spidey senses or your ghost senses, Violet, as you realize that this is being served by a spectral being of some kind. And your drink is just kind of sitting there waiting for you as the tray is just kind of moved back without the drink.
That's interesting.
Curious.
Your previous investments have seen quite a bit of success. So I wanted to offer you an additional opportunity to invest. It's a 5-year contract.
5 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long time, sir. But of course, I mean, go on.
You're young. I offer, in exchange for your services, an unbelievable amount of coin. And if that doesn't satisfy, I can offer you other opportunities. But you will serve at my pleasure for 5 years.
Interesting proposal. I'm going to have to really think on that. I'm not usually one for long-term commitments.
That's funny. It's not what your work in Silkshore seems to indicate.
It's a private affair. I didn't know that you were keeping an eye on me.
All potential business relationships I keep an eye on.
So I guess then when you mean you want my services, you're not wanting a nice clock to go on your desk.
This isn't about paltry items or pleasure.
You're
But if you
meaning
need
my
time,
associate.
I'm meaning your muscle.
Yeah.
If you two need to get a room,
No, but
At that implication,
to
he
it.
gives you. At that implication, he gives you a look of "you will be silent."
He just wants to slither into your
my
pants.
dear Volaris, we can't have a bit of fun. Business is pleasure, after all.
You can see the tone of his skin turning a little bit red again.
please excuse Violet. She got shit-faced 5 hours ago and she's just coming off it.
And it was fantastic, I must say.
It was. Pina coladas galore. Anyway.
Okay.
5
So-
years. You want my help?
I will draw up the final terms. You will sign the contract if you want or not. As Violet's benefactor assured me, you are as trustworthy as she. Except for her little indiscretions lately.
Might I ask who this person is? You know, that's giving me the thumbs up.
Somebody who is watching you as closely as they are watching Violet.
Yeah, I was hoping for a little bit more, but I guess I'm not going to be getting that. Well, yeah, you draw up the contract. I'll give it a read over, and if it looks all right, yeah, we've got a business. But at the moment, my time has been very limited, so I can't promise anything. can promise to come back here because, lovely service.
Come back soon.
Really want to attune and check him out.
Go ahead.
Oh my god. Is he a full-on demon?
Go ahead.
Is it risky? Is
Is he
controlled?
Sure, it's
full-on
risky.
belly?
I mean, he's not hiding his nature from you. He's just not flaunting it either. I mean, so it could be considered controlled.
Come on.
He is full on red. He is bright, shining red through and through. It
Through and
radiates from his core. And you, as you attune, you can see his full form, which includes what is a 15-foot long tail hidden behind the desk.
That is impressive.
You are a terrible person, Slade. Shut up.
Tally
In my
ho.
defense, that was OC that said that.
He's not there. What are you
I
talking
think you
about?
muted yourself, and I came in and I was like, crap.
Valaris. We've worked together for 2 years, and it's a fantastic relationship. So we have a bit of trust, yes?
A bit.
Good. Because I may need your help. Can I trust him? Do I have to check that?
You have a business relationship with him. You have signed a contract with him. So you're partners through thick and thin in some sense of it.
Yeah.
So, and this partnership lasts, according to the contract, for 5 years.
Right. I may need your help, Valaris. Can you take that beautiful extracurricular sense that you've got and check me over? I'd like to know. I had a bit of a slip up. Check me for guests. Marks.
What the hell do you mean as a slip up?
As I said,
Surprise.
you
Piss
should
off.
stop participating in your extracurricular activities.
Noted. Is there anything you can do about this? Or am I stuck with it? Until
You're
it's
stuck
due?
with nothing.
Was it you?
He looks exasperated and sighs with a great deal of patience because he's dealing with what he considers as a lesser being at this point, and that's rolling off and becoming obvious to you. And he says,
Fine.
Okay, so not you.
you should just focus on the business at hand.
So you don't want me meddling?
In my affairs, outside of the veil, no.
Well, I didn't know they were your affairs. Noted. Don't like this thing.
I don't have any interest in your little thing.
All right.
It's not that little, but okay.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Good to know.
And so as you're sitting there pondering this, he looks at both of you and says, "Business is concluded. You may go." And he raises his hand, and as he raises his hand, the door behind you opens. You hear it because it creaks.
I've got to get me one of those.
Lovely
Well,
trick.
it's been a pleasure. And I will wait for your documents to come through to my establishment, and I'm sure we'll be in touch soon. Thanks for the drink. It was a pleasure as always.
So if I learn anything else, bring it to you, or you will already know.
And he looks at you again with an exasperated sigh. And he says, "Conclude your business elsewhere. Focus your efforts on the Vale. Complete your contracts, or there will be consequences. Now go."
Violet, let's go.
Consequences. That's not very businesslike. Have a lovely evening.
As you're stepping away, he
What do you
says,
say?
"Don't forget the terms of your contracts."
I haven't forgotten. This is my second home.
Your cat's a dick, Slade. Just going to tell
You
you that.
have no idea.
And with that, he dismisses you again, and you make your way back. You make your way back downstairs. The terms of
just
your
gonna-
contract, Violet,
Yeah.
very simply were you're to focus all of your business on all of your time on making the Vale as best as possible, working your little bits of magic to focus on the arcane elements of the business.
Right.
And then just generally facilitate his needs in having a partner who is the visible face of the Vale.
Right.
And in return, he agreed to do two things for you. He agreed to help you return the Vale estate to its former glory at the end of the 5 years. And he also agreed to give you any information at the end of the 5 years that you would request that it relates to arcane or spiritual or spectral knowledge. Like, he basically gave you carte blanche in respect to asking him information. And he sealed it with a bit of magic on the contract. The consequences, if either of you break the terms of the contract, and he's supposed to treat you very well and give you circumstances, and he's supposed to make sure that your needs are well taken care of, etc., etc. The consequences, it is not a ghost contract. It is not a demon pact necessarily. It is a business relationship. The consequences, if either of you break the contract, is essentially it will come under arbitration of something called the court. And the result could be as little as recompense, or it could be a reconciliation that it could involve up to and including your eternal soul being in servitude of him, or vice versa.
Well, that is some sticky small print.
Yes.
And this is why we read things before we sign them.
Well, she already claimed to own the Vale, so I had to give some of the justification and reason why that she was involved in the Vale. So.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing I'm walking back down with Violet down the stairs. I'm just going to look to her and go, He's got a bit of a bad lisp, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
So by that time, you walk downstairs. Nix and OC and Nye. No, Nye hasn't arrived yet.
No, I'm not allowed to. She's,
Nix and OC.
stuck.
Right. So Nix and OC have showed up, and you find yourself all kind of reconnecting and sharing bits of information. Who tells each other what?
OC is pretty drunk, sitting with a few of the girls, because they've, I'm sure, understand why I'm mad already. So she's just sitting with some of her girls in the corner drinking heavily.
Okay.
Oh, Nix. It's good to see you again. I heard some pretty good things, mate.
What did you hear?
I hear that you and that idiot in the mask, you got along quite well.
Yes, the idiot in the mask. Yes, he botched a few explosions and he fell down when he could have been killed, and I had to save him. Quite the occasion.
Yes, but he was trying his best.
It's true, he spoke highly of your carriage and his desire to save it before he fell forward and ate cobblestone.
He was renting it. But it's okay, it doesn't matter. He was doing his best.
Yes. On the bright side, he takes well to murder.
Enjoy your stay.
I wouldn't know, but whatever he does, he does.
Sure, of course.
Hmm.
One could say he's very discreet like a space samurai. Seven arise, minion, and welcome to the graveyard.
That was well done.
I was requested to bring those back in, so...
Are you on drugs or something? What the hell is a space samurai?
Listen, I'm always on something. Let's be serious. And he, shakes a little bottle towards you.
Whatever it is, it was lovely to hear you two got along. Like a house on fire.
Yes, he too liked my coat.
I bet he bloody did.
Said he once knew a man that wore one similar, but I wore it better.
Oh yes, OC, how are you before I fucking smash this man in the face?
She's just gonna shrug and keep drinking.
Let's hope you're more efficient than your mass friend.
I'm gonna scoop up Margette and take her with us, and as I go over there to meet all of them, I'm just going to drinks on me. Let's have a round on the house, everyone, and just make a hubbub so we can make a little beeline over there and have some conversation.
How auspicious.
As you're sweeping Margette along with you and doing that, she pesters you to find out more about your arrangement here, because she didn't realize that you were involved here at all until you were swept away to go speak to the elusive Valeris.
Yeah.
And she starts asking you all kinds of questions about it.
I kind of brush her off with, "Oh, you must try this. Oh, have you had the mushrooms here? Fantastic. Biggest person, you have to have one. Please,
No, cousin. No, cousin. You have to understand. He's a benefactor for the Red Sashes. He's been targeting through the sashes my mother.
Really?
Happy days.
So, I want you to tell Nix here everything you've told me, and we're going to help. So I'll let her relay everything.
Okay.
To Nix and OC.
Well, what about Reymond? Raymond's just kind of sitting there doing his thing. Or does he just have his... Okay, all right. I just want to make sure that you include Reymond because he was looking a little left out there.
Absolutely.
No, don't you worry. I know exactly what I'm doing.
All right, so Nix, you and OC just heard the circumstances of the Foghounds and how desperate they are.
Nix leans in quietly, making sure that no one is around. This is Marguerite, my dear. Now, you are, if I'm not... That's what I said. That's what I said. If I could
It's the accent.
Yes. Judging by the pallor of your skin, you spend most of your days on the Void Sea.
That is correct.
How's business? I know that the train has taken away much of your skills.
Terrible. We're suffering.
Yes, it appears.
Which is why I came to I came to Violet.
Well, good on you then. What do you do when you can't be supplying via the ocean?
We used to have the resources to do.
No. I don't care what you used to do. I asked you what you currently do.
She looks at you and she's uncomfortable, and she looks to Violet, looking for some acknowledgement of, should I trust him? Kind of a...
Trust him, dear. Trust him with my life.
She gets uncomfortable and she says, we smuggle. We rob, and we transport illicit goods. We sometimes steal them. And sometimes we kidnap. But that's all my mother's business. She won't let me apart. She hasn't included me as a part of the business until she gets really frustrated. She says, until our regular business and our ship has not been able to turn a profit.
Yes, the Fog Hound.
That's correct.
Tell your mother for me. I have dealings with a busy little bee and a friend inside Crow's Foot. They used to be lamplighters. What if I secure you work delivering and exporting exclusively for them?
I can't broker a contract, but I can make an introduction.
Well,
but it's
lovely.
It would only make things better if we can show that there is some profit in this.
Yes, well, I've been here for about a year now. We have your cousin here. We have the great Reymond Bowerstone here. And you may know Orange Crush. She has quite a few lively businesses of her own. So we are all well-to-do about town. You appear to be downtrodden, and we could aid you, should you so choose. My stipulations would be that all of your jobs get run through myself or your cousin, and anything interesting you hear about town is also run through myself or your cousin.
Enjoy your stay.
She says, that's an interesting offer. Again, I cannot broker any contract. I cannot confirm any deal, but I will bring your offer to my mother. But there must be some profit or immediate business for her to take it seriously.
Yes, well,
I don't know any of you. And she doesn't know any of you, except for Violet. And she hasn't seen Violet since she was a child.
What about this?
How does she trust? I must come to her with something that she can trust.
What about an assurance that your friends who have invaded your warehouse and killed one of your men, that I will make them no longer an issue?
That's a bold claim. We don't even know who they are. We know that they're working for this.
She'll say it like he probably knows, like you don't know who they are. She's been quiet this whole time and she has no idea who Nyx is. So she'll kind of make,
Right. So at that, she looks at you and she looks back to Nyx and she looks to you. And she
came to me for help. I've
I
introduced you to help.
But this is not. I was hoping that there might be something left of the family fortune, that you might be able to serve as the benefactor for us. We're desperate.
My dear,
we have mouths.
That comes later.
Although, are you needing some sort of income?
With that, she's gonna smack him in the chest.
Right to the solar plexus?
Yeah, like
that?
just right in the chest.
Okay.
And just glare at him.
I was going to offer a loan.
Yes, I understand. You're not in a position to do that, remember?
I've got some sort of money.
And she looks between the three of you. She looks between the four of you. And she says, oh, all right, I'll broker a meeting. But I would make a suggestion. It would be if you could bring her something. If you could show her, if you could bring, oh, I know what you can do. And she lights up and she's like, there's a new score that we're going to take down. There's a new ship coming in, Leviathan blood. I'm not sure who knows about this, but there's a score coming in, and we would, if we can see success with that, if you can help us either determine who might be attacking us or even support us in this endeavor, if we can take that score, it'll help us survive long enough for us to be able to have a meeting. I know that we're desperate.
I'd like to tell if she's lying, because I have that ability.
She is not. She is not. She is clearly sincere about this. She's desperate. So she's thinking about all possibilities, right? She's clearly reaching for things. She's trying to figure out a way. What you're getting from her body language wise is that she doesn't think that bringing the deal or bringing the introduction as you guys currently stand is enough. She doesn't think that she can broker a conversation or a meeting without some value coming from that meeting. Like, you need to do something in order to demonstrate your worth to
what exactly was she
Falcons.
asking of us to do?
She knows that there is a score that the Falcons are planning to take a Leviathan hunter ship's score, or essentially cargo, which would be a bunch of parts of a Leviathan that would then be sent off to go be processed at the city's factories.
My dear, what hunting company?
I like here. Hook some.
Done.
What?
It's done.
All right. I can send message for the details, and
yes, as soon as possible.
You must. Oh. And she looks to Violet. She says, "Is this okay?" You know, she's looking at you, looking for assurance that this is okay.
It's done. If he says it's done, my dear, it's done.
Okay.
She has a necklace on.
Okay.
That Nye had given her one of the first few times they met. She'll take it off and give it to her and say, once we're done with our business, I want you to know that you can trust us, because trust is apparently very hard to find around here. She's going to say it like obviously bitter about something completely different.
Right.
And give the necklace over and just be like, this is the only valuable thing that I own half the city's, brothels.
Right.
This is the only thing of value that I own. Bring it with you when you come back, when you know you can trust us. If we don't, it's worth a fortune. Small fortune.
I'm going to also make sure I'm going to find a steward or a cocktail waitress and just have several bottles of wine and a basket of food prepped for her to take with her.
Okay. So as you begin to bring that all together, she looks uncomfortable around and she says, "Cousin, may I have a word?"
Of course, dear.
And she immediately gets up and walks towards another table. And when you sit down with her, she looks at you. She looks over at them. "I don't know any of these people. I appreciate you making these introductions. And I hear their claims. I don't think that they're lying to me, but if this doesn't work, even if they make a deal with Mother and they don't follow through, she'll murder them. She's become quite ruthless."
I can assure you,
Enjoy your
she's met
stay.
her match. I admire her strength, and you also know if things come to ruin, the Vale Estate has room for you.
Thank you.
I know it's drafty. I know it's not what it was.
But we have a 5-year plan.
But what?
But we have a 5-year plan.
We have a 5-year plan. Yeah.
So she looks at you and she says, "Okay, well then I should go. I will send word as soon as I can with the details."
Right, and we have other projects in the works that we may need your help with, and it may be beneficial for everyone. And that's all
Okay.
I can say for now. Trust.
She looks down at her hands and she looks at the necklace and amulet that OC gave her, and she wraps her hands around it, kind of puts it in her pocket. She says, "Okay, I must go. Can you arrange for a carriage?"
Absolutely.
And with that, she'll take the goods that you have arranged for her,
Give me the basket.
and she leaves. And unless you guys want to do anything else right this second, we'll cut to that information coming to you guys.
How long does it take to get there?
It's going to take about a day. So it'll arrive just about the time that you were supposed to head off to the Lamblocks.
Okay, cool.
OC would like to pull. She doesn't have to pull him aside, but so no one else can hear other than the group. If they want to listen, they can.
Right.
She's probably grabbing another bottle from the bar, throwing down money and getting another bottle, and asking him, since we're in the trusting mood, and I think you've seen my secret, like the whole thing with Nye, I have a favor to ask.
Go on.
And she'll go, I'm not going to go into the whole thing. She'll go into the whole backstory of having this. You're probably really bored. Her talking this whole time about having someone that looked up to her and she, everything, and then the downfall and what just happened, and talking about needing information as to where this person might be, and needing to figure out if me getting arrested had to do with it. Because her luck hasn't been this bad for a while since she came here and started her business. And it can't be coincidence, especially now that she knows, she's back. and that it may be beneficial for her as she was always one with someone who had information. She always knew what was going on. She was always in people's business. It's part of what got her in trouble.
Interesting. Yes, I can see what I can do. It can't hurt.
Hopefully it does. And then she'll just go back to drinking.
So what was the tangible result of that exchange, though? Like, is it you're asking
Nyx to help her find information on Ari?
To get his people out there, and they know like what she looks like, her name. I mean, she's obviously not hiding. She went to one of my establishments. You know, everyone knows who she is, and people who didn't said her name, and they kind of all have that little bit of fear because she was, you know, an instrument of fear to like keep people in check.
Okay.
You know, you can end up on the street if you don't do what you know.
Okay, fair enough. All right, does anybody want to do anything else before we cut?
I will. So while those two like go off and do their thing, Raymond's just going to look over to Violet with a smile, looking around, then just level with me. This 5-year thing, is it worth it?
I thought it was, but I don't know how I missed that bit of information. But it seems that I'm locked in, so I wonder if Skurlock knows. I wonder if he can help. I feel a bit caught.
Right. Yeah,
But the
because
Vale
I'm
is
not going to
wonderful.
lie. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Vale is wonderful, but until we know more about my own contract, I would be afraid for you signing one of yours.
I deal with the money. I don't deal with the Greeblies. That whole thing, that doesn't get me excited for anything. So, Vale, if he ever mentions my name again, don't bring it up. I don't plan on seeing him again.
Sorted.
Anyway, drinks. Yes, drinks.
So we're going to cut to the next night when you guys are all coming together to start planning the excursion. That is the conversation with the Lampblacks. And a message was brought to Violet at the Vale through a courier, a trusted courier, bringing details about the score with which Violet's cousin Margette was talking about. At the bottom of this, along with all the details, and I'll go into the details in just a second, you see that she has added the postscript "discretion, please," and underlined it, just a couple of times to kind of emphasize that. And what you're taking from that is that she wants to make sure that while you do this, and her mother will find out, that it's done as discreetly as possible, so that consequences don't get back to her or subsequently her mother.
Sure.
The details are this. It is essentially a shipment that is expected to come in the next couple of nights. We'll say 2 or 3 nights off. There is a large shipment of Leviathan blood from the Void Seas hunting off towards Skovland. The reason that it's being brought all the way to Doskval from the Skovland coast is unclear, but it is apparently quite a large shipment, and it's going to require 4 carriages at least have been ordered. So 4 carriages and 4 goats to transport it. It is to be delivered to one of the refineries located in, hold on just a second, guys, as I let you know what that is. Located in Coleridge. And it is expected that it will be under heavy guard. and that the North Hook Company spares no expense when it hires for protection.
Do we know who the North Hook normally hires for protection?
You do. It varies between the Red Sashes and the Grey Cloaks.
Okay.
And Nix would know this specifically because he has spent an unbelievably amount of time studying the North Hook Company for undisclosed, Nix reasons.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'll
Yeah,
share that note with everyone.
Yeah, he takes all that information in stride, and says, "Well, now, if the gods were on our favor, they would have hired the Red Sashes for their guards. I'm not sure we could be so lucky, but if we could find that information out, and I will. The Lampblacks, they are well-known brigands, let's call them for niceties, and they would jump at the chance to kill some Red Sashes. So this could play even more into our hand. But first we should meet with them and see what they have to offer, or what we have to offer them."
Aye. Let's set that up.
So, yeah.
Okay, so when you are making your way to the agreed location for the Lampblacks, do you take any precautions?
Yeah, Nix would have had the Rooks scout the venue ahead of time.
Okay. I got a question for you.
Sure.
And now I think about it, we might want to treat this more and more meetings like this, or more circumstances where these things happen. Do we want to treat this as a score, as a social engagement?
We could.
Yes.
Which, to us going there?
Yeah.
To you having the meeting with the Lampblacks and the subsequent the Hive.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
believe I had a conversation. Well, last week, I don't know if you guys caught the Phantom show, but the conversation between the Phantom and the Bluecoats in this metagame side really could have dropped in. Could have been a score in and of itself as a social engagement. So I think it's perfectly feasible, and I may go back with them and figure out how to score that in respect to treating it as a score and like doing the results of it. And that'll be for a conversation for tomorrow. But
yeah.
If you guys want to do that and you want to treat this as a score, then we can make that happen, and that way you actually get some sort of more tangible benefit than just building a relationship.
Yeah, I'm keen for that.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So
Johnny, can you do whatever to do to make the screen black again and come back with the words and such?
I am trying to, and I am having problems with that. I don't know what the hell I did. So if you look at the, I think it's fog that is the problem.
If you go to the top where your maps are and then right-click on the map cog, and you can change the entire background to black.
Entire background to black. Is that what happened? Okay, let's try that. That's
good enough. You had an
better.
image there before, but the image was...
Well, there should be an image now, and if it's not, I don't know why the image is not showing for you guys. I'll fix that later. Yeah. Anyways, all right. So, yeah. Oh, actually, that looks pretty good right now. So, all right. So, if this is treated as a social engagement, and we're calling this a score, let's go through the details of what it means to actually do a score.
Okay.
With a social engagement, you need a starting detail. And the starting detail that I need from you guys in respect to handle all of the planning, and why is my PDF reader being ridiculous?
The social connection is the letter we sent them.
Okay, so the social connection is the letter that you sent them.
This is the first letter we sent them with
the body
with the present.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep all my hostages.
Which is the major in the red sashes.
Okay.
Okay, so with that in mind, I think the only other thing we really need to kind of dig into before the engagement roll happens is there any change to your loadout that you would typically take, given this is a social occasion and not necessarily a like a combat or even a fact-finding mission of any kind. This is really just building a relationship here.
I'm guessing Reymond's tagging along.
Well, I would assume that all of you are going to show up unless there's some other plan.
Yeah, in that case, he's.
I mean,
he's
this
not
is a
going,
social
yeah.
thing, so it might not.
Yeah,
be
so he's not going to come. He's not going to come in looking like a pellic. So
come on, the bottom showing up would be great.
If you want to see assless chaps, that is second suit.
A little too friendly for our.
Wait.
friends.
So with the assless chaps,
Roll
does
for
that also
assless
come
chaps.
with nipples?
Looney nips.
Exactly. That's where.
If anyone wants to send in any fan art of different Bower bomb suits, okay.
You know, it's ironic that we're talking about that today because not only is it Speedy's 21st birthday, but it's also the 20th anniversary of Batman and Robin being released.
That's right.
Oh, really?
Which is a terrible, terrible, wonderful film.
Seriously,
So,
guys, if you do have fan art for,
But it's so Bowerbomb. It's such a Bowerbomb film.
Wait, if he's coming in that costume, does that make me Robin? Did he raid my closet? Am I Robin now?
Yep.
Because I don't have my Robin
or
with
is
me,
she-
so.
You're Batgirl.
Excellent thinking, OC, but what does it mean?
What's it mean?
It's a little
Okay.
niggly out here.
All right, so I'm going to assume that there's no change in loadout other than Bottom's costume. Okay. All right, guys. So let's get right on to it and talk about the engagement roll.
Sure.
All right. Yeah.
I changed my loadout, but that's what I usually have. Okay.
All right. So again, sheer luck, one die already starting.
Sure.
Is this operation particularly bold or daring?
You tell me.
Is it overly complex or contingent on many factors? I think it's bold and daring because you guys are communicating with a faction that is 2 tiers. I think they're tier 2.
Yeah, they're tier 2, and it's definitely contingent on many factors. Because I'm literally lying to everyone.
I didn't think that. Oh, so you are planning to lie to them?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. All good.
But I think it might be negated a little bit by the fact that we built a little bit of a foundation.
Yeah, but I mean it's still a plus, so it's still a bold move.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying it's
Still a bold move.
it'd be a way bolder move if we didn't just, hey guys, want to hang out?
Well, this is. I mean, you have done a lot of preparing in this particular case.
Yeah.
But it is bold. But I think because you've done all the preparing, I think that gives you the +1 without getting the -1 die. So that's 2
And
die.
we have a +1 position, right, from our.
That doesn't count for engagement rolls.
Yeah, so you can't affect or engagement or fortune rolls with that because what happened was very early on, Speedy and the crew affected it in such a way that just it made it too easy for them on their second score. So I just wanted to make sure that subsequently, there is a little bit of fate that falls into it. Okay.
We have +2D. Does the plan detail expose a vulnerability of the target? I mean, that's very loose. Yes, a very loose yes. Like that's his whole thing is to expose them to make them an easier target for him to manipulate.
You've already exposed them.
Okay.
With the encounter with the Red Sashes where you framed them. So yes, I think that definitely applies.
Okay.
Is the target strong against this approach? Probably not. So you're not going to receive a negative there at all. So that's 3 die so far. Friends or contracts providing aid or insight for this operation. I'm going to say that, again, given the way that you made the introduction for this conversation, using Nye and dropping off the major, you definitely get another die there. So that's 4.
Okay. And then it says, are there any other elements? The only thing I can think of is it literally says maybe there's a situation in the district that makes the operation more or less tricky. Literally the turf war. They're looking for allies, and we're presenting ourselves as an ally.
Sure, I could see that, but I'm also going to say that because they're a higher tier target, you're going to receive a negative die.
Okay, so that one cancels itself out.
Yeah, so that one's going to cancel itself out.
So 4 dice.
So yeah,
Go ahead and roll me 4d6.
Where is the engagement roll button? Is that
There is not. Actually, you know what? That's right. I get to roll that.
You get to roll that.
Sorry. That's right. So there isn't an engagement button. I just roll 4d6 and we go with the results. So
Big ones, big ones, big ones.
no whammies, no whammies, no whammies.
No whammies, no Wheatons.
6.
Wow.
6.
So yes, you come off in quite a good position to start with.
Woo.
So where was the agreed upon location for? Oh, Willow, hush. Hold on, guys.
Willow.
Yeah, she's a little shit.
Willow.
So there was no agreed upon location. They said a safe location. I originally, I originally had said Eden.
Why don't you tell me what would be a safe location that's not Eden? Because they're not going to want to meet on your turf.
So that's the thing. So our turf is the night market, and our lair is hidden underneath Eden. So no one knows it's there.
I don't know whether I want to bring them there.
The church on top of Eden might be neutral ground.
All right.
We could bring them to one of my establishments. It's still in public. It's
One
still...
of Ari's places, yeah.
Excuse me? The fuck you say to me?
Well, we got to find a new cast member because OC's going to kill Violet. Great, thanks.
Well, Lisa, it was really nice knowing you. I really
you'll have to
miss
pay
you.
for the next 3 years of your debt.
6 whole sessions.
Yeah,
so maybe one of
how it ends.
One of the places OC knows. What's
So
that one
how
called?
about your
had a
main
great
establishment, OC?
The Dominion.
What was the name of it again?
The Dominion.
The Dominion?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So why don't you guys meet at the Dominion? We'll call that, and OC can arrange for a private room for you guys to have the meeting, and we're going to start at that table there. And given that it's 10:55 or 10:53, we probably should just cut there, and you guys will jump right immediately into the social engagement score for next time.
Cool. So
All right.
XP.
XP time. So who wants to go first?
I'll jump in.
Okay.
So I definitely did. That's the crew sheet. No desperate actions. Addressed the challenge with calculation and conspiracy. I would say that happened several times.
Yeah, you definitely get 2 XP for that.
Okay, so 2 XP for that. Beliefs, backstory, heritage, and background. I would have said no, but as soon as that person said
Hook.
North something, he jumped all over it. So I'll take 1 on that. And then struggled with issues or traumas with my vice, no, and I didn't train at all. So 3 XP.
All right, so excellent. That works for me. Why don't we start? I want to go down to Reymond.
Okay, so no desperate actions at all with it. Nothing from there. Everything seemed pretty chill. For background, so with his meeting with Valaris and him basically uncovering who he was.
Right.
And having to keep that pretty neutral and not flamboyant, I'm thinking there.
Okay.
Apart from that, there wasn't really anything else I can jump out and say was the background. When it comes to issues, I mean, he was full of issues today.
Well, that's the bottom,
yeah.
but
yeah. So, can you hear that? Holy,
The cat.
what is that?
Catwoman! Shut up.
Isn't her name Selena?
Not in my house.
Well, that's why she's complaining. Anyways, so you're thinking that that's all that he earned this time?
Yeah. There wasn't a lot to go on because he sort of sliding his way back into things.
Okay, so there's the moment where you were up there and you were kind of taken aback by the situation, and you kind of I think that there's 1 XP there for you specifically just kind of not committing. You just being the cautious person that Reymond is as our bomb. I think the second time.
It's not the same when you say it like that.
I think that you should get 2 XP though, because I think there's a second occurrence where you engaged Violet privately.
Yeah.
Where you expressed again your beliefs or background and got really concerned and did not want her to.
This could be the thing with Nyx as well. Giving
Sure.
the whole guys of, how was the Bell one? He was good. That's nice.
Sure, you could say that as well, but you can only get a maximum of 2 XP from any one of those things. So that's 2 XP right there. And then I don't think you dealt with any of your vices at all. So
no, but I need to because my stress is getting up there.
Oh, then you should have done that during your downtime. So
no, projects.
What's your downtime? I mean, what's your stress level at?
Oh, let's not ask questions like that.
I'm curious. I really want to know.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You're okay. You got another 3 to go.
Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, what's the worst that can happen?
You're only 3 away from trauma. Okay, so that sounds like 2 XP for you.
Cool.
Excellent. All right, let's go on to OC. We learned a lot about OC today. I can't hear you.
Gonna flip a goddamn table in here.
Shut up.
There were no desperate actions using deception or influence. I tried to use my influence with the guy under the demon that's in Valen.
Okay.
Beliefs drives heritage definitely with how I run my place and how I dealt with him.
Okay.
And my background, I'm kind of trying to get away from it. I'm trying to get Nyx's help with it.
Okay.
So I think maybe that would be 3.
Okay, that sounds about right. And you didn't deal with any issues related to your vice at all?
Mm-mm.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right then. So 3 XP. Violet.
I don't think I rolled desperate. Did I do a desperate with the demon? Did I do that? I don't think so.
I don't think that was desperate. No, I think it was risky.
Okay, so not there.
Okay.
I addressed a challenge with knowledge of arcane power with the demon and with the other demon, and then I expressed my beliefs, drives, or heritage or background with Margette.
Yep.
And struggled with vice or trauma. I don't think I struggled with vice or trauma.
I would say that it might have been related to. I mean,
the demon.
So you've already gotten 1 XP from dealing with the demon.
Yeah.
So actually, you got 2. I would think you got 2 XP for knowledge or arcane power. 1 is dealing with the demon.
And then Valaris.
When it was inside of Valen. And then the other one is Valaris. And then your beliefs, drives, and heritage. At least 1 for working with your cousin. And then I also saw a bit of that with your interaction with Valaris as well.
Yeah.
So
background.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that background and your beliefs, because you really are all about the pleasure, right?
Yeah, that's my drive as well.
And I don't think you struggled with your vice or trauma because I think that got caught up, or that could have been related to the demon as well. But I think that the arcane power thing kind of eats that up. So I think that's 4 XP for you.
Yep.
Sweet.
Cool. And then when I pushed myself, is that 1 stress or 2 stress?
It's 2 stress.
Okay, thanks.
So okay.
Yeah.
And as we started to do last week on Phantom, and we'll do tonight on Shroud, it's now time to do crew XP. And Nyx, or Mike, you want to talk a bit about that?
So at the end of each session, there are 4 XP triggers for the crew you have. Execute a successful espionage, sabotage, or theft operation. No, we didn't do that yet. Contend with challenges above your current station. Arguably, yes. The Foghounds are above our station, and this Snake Man is also apparently above our station. And I have a feeling that whatever the hell's going on with the Lost is probably also above our station.
Okay, so you can get a maximum of 2. So I think that's you dealt with 3 different circumstances where you encountered that. So that's definitely 2 XP for you guys. Okay,
bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one. I would almost say no.
I could say no. Maybe, there was no definitive. There's no definitive action that happened. So no.
Yeah, and then express your goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew. We definitely expressed our goals in that, or our drives rather, is ambition, There was a bit of inner conflict, I believe, between, like, let's say Nyx and Bowerbomb, or Nyx and Violet with the whole punching that demon in the face situation. She wasn't too pleased about that.
Sure.
And the essential nature of the crew, OC decided to trust in Nyx and ask for help.
Okay.
So,
And if not even that, we did ask for. We tried to use our reputation with the cousin.
Mm-hmm.
that's true.
All right. So there's two there,
Two
definitely.
there. And that should wrap it up. I think that's it.
Okay. Do you want to talk briefly, really quickly, about the upgrade that you guys have already taken based on previous episodes?
So we had forgotten about crew XP, so we went back and reassessed all of that. So we originally started with training in prowess, which would give us 1 additional XP when we trained in prowess, and we have the hidden ability on our lair. We have since taken secure level 1 and secure level 2. What that does is it adds rudimentary locks, like mundane locks, traps, etc., to our lair, to Eden. And then level 2 brings it to the arcane element, so we can't be. It's harder for ghosts to get in, demons to get in, possibly out. We've also upgraded our rooks to elite rooks, so they are better, more successful at doing their job. And we took training in resolve because all of us have skills. Our majority skills are in resolve, so that'll give us additional 1 XP when we train in resolve.
Cool. All right, and then with that, I think we are good for tonight. Awesome session. I think the change into making the meeting's social engagements scores is actually going to play off pretty well for you guys.
I'm into it.
There was one other thing I wanted to say. Shit, I'll think about it and I'll say it offline. All right, with that, I'm going to turn it back over to you, Mike.
Awesome. Cool. So, great game tonight. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this all plays down. Because if my math is correct, we have this minor score that's about to happen, and then possibly another score. So 2 scores in 1 game next week would be pretty goddamn cool.
Well, don't forget about your Hive meeting that you have as well.
That's true. So possibly 3 scores in 1 night would be pretty goddamn intense. So a game next week. A game. So we'll go around the table, guys, and get your final thoughts on today's session and introduce yourselves. Lisa, who are you? What are you doing here? And what did you think of tonight's session?
Tonight's session is amazing. I am going to leave it to you guys to keep it all straight because all of a sudden my brain is like, there's so many factions and so much happening. It's so exciting. I'm Lisa Lee, and I am Lisa Bell on Twitter, and I am Danger Lily on Twitch, and I'm here Wednesday nights playing Blades in the Dark. And Saturdays, I am on Exploding Dice, playing Writhing Moon.
Sweet deal. Making his triumphant return this week, Slade, a.k.a. the Bowerbottom. Who are you? What are you doing here? And what did you think of tonight's session?
I really like it because as it's progressing now, the character development's really coming out, and there's a lot more interesting interactions. So I'm interested in seeing how those go along. But yes, I'm Slade from Crit Dice Gaming. You can see me play all sorts of games. We're running through Overwatch and going back with some classic Wildlands at the moment. So yeah, if you want to come check me out, come check me out.
Sweet deal.
Did you say classic Wildlands?
It is classic. It was brought out 6 months ago, I think, so it's a classic.
Bullshit, it was like 3 months ago. You're so full of shit.
Sure it's no, it's 6, isn't it?
I think classics have to at least be like 10 years old, guys.
Yeah, seriously.
Months don't matter.
Yeah.
Months matter.
Well, wait a minute. Are we talking about internet time? Or all right, I'll get this conversation.
Either way.
You know.
A classic in her own right. Xmas Ninja Ninja, who are you? What are you doing here? And what did you think of tonight's session?
Did he just call you old?
Yeah.
I call her at least 10.
It's okay. He's like 45. It's fine. Tonight was intense. It'll be interesting to see where this leads. And I think I'm really excited to see what goes on with Lisa's character and getting into more shenanigans, probably. Ghostly shenanigans. But I run a channel, first-person shooters, horror games, stuff like that, community nights. So check it out.
Sweet. And last but definitely least, Johnny, who are you? What are you doing here? And what did you think of tonight?
You know, I just realized that you guys left Valen just kind of hanging out there at the Eden.
No, I left Nye to watch him.
Yeah, but you just left him there. He's just sort of hanging out.
Oh, he's locked in a room.
Sure, but he's still just
No,
I mean,
I said you could
Yeah,
study.
but
you did all of this stuff to get him, and now he's just kind of hanging out there. You guys didn't
he's
even
in a
come back
locked
and
room.
I left him in a
Fine.
sex dungeon with a
You left him in
demon
a-
and a possessed inspector. They can have their own fun, or he could be bored.
Yeah,
That's
they can
his
figure it out.
decision at this point.
Right. And it also seemed if he could get himself magically out of manacles, he can get himself magically anywhere. So a locked
not
room
where I-
or not. I mean,
Yeah.
who's going to stop him?
well, you just actually upgraded for physical and arcane, so it's going to be much harder for him to get out of your secret lair
Well,
now.
good.
Which
Good.
so
That's
I
all
mean,
good.
there is that mechanical aspect, but then I just realized when you guys said. Okay, well, there's Aldo, which is possessed by Nye, and then there's Valen, who is possessed by some sort of a demon. Does that make it a four-way?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. And as I kind of ramble on, my name is Johnny. I run the VideoStoreCowboy channel, which I just relaunched this week, although I've only had one stream. Probably going to be on later tonight. You will see me tomorrow night, though, definitely on Not So Speedruns Thursday night 6 and 20 show for the Phantom, or Phantom as they call themselves, where they will be getting themselves into more shenanigans, and the crossovers are really beginning to happen between the two shows. So I'm kind of curious to see, as we build up towards the end of these 10 episodes, this initial season, what it's all gonna do. So
Sky's
Death.
Cruise took
Death,
my
absolute
cousin's
death.
score.
yeah, it's funny because the crossovers are really beginning to happen, so it's kind of cool. I mean, it's really the ties are really kind of there. And other than that, that's me.
Sweet deal. So, guys, before we get the hell out of here, we're going to go raid our friends over at the Saving Throw show. So copy and paste that little raid alarm and watch for the host. And from all of us to you guys, bye-bye.